we started the call this morning, the show call, and Hamilton just goes, I guess we should talk about whatever that was last night. And I started laughing because it's like, what actually was this Bucs-Falcons situation? And it's not to dismiss what Kirk Cousins and Bijan and Kyle Pitts did in this game. They were unbelievable. They deserve a ton of love. But I cannot focus on that because this was about the Bucs. And this is one that you're going to remember. It's going to hurt. It's going to leave a mark. And you're going to remember it forever. And I love this team. I keep waiting for them to like respond to this like close game, respond to this thing. You have Baker, you have the pieces. Mike Evans is back, but I'm going to vent a little bit. I love this team so much that I think I've earned the right to vent a little bit because this is a loss that goes into the inexcusable column in all of my years of doing this at home. Oh my gosh, in front of a national streaming audience, up 14 in the fourth. How does this happen? The Falcons gave you 19 penalties, okay? You have your Hall of Fame receiver back, and he gives you a performance for the ages. Well, it'll be on his highlight reel when he's going to Canton. You have 2 chances to recover fumbles that would ice the game. Your opponent, you get them and corner them and push them into a 3rd and freaking 28 on the final drive. You cannot lose that game. It's like impressive that you found a way to lose this game. And I've had overnight to figure this out and cool off. I can't. My voice has gone not from a week in New York. No, my voice has gone from screaming at the television because this cannot happen. Do I have a silver lining? I don't know if I do. Todd Bowles, do you?
You can't sugarcoat that. It was in the fucking excusable, and there's no fucking answer for it. There's no excuse for it. That's what you tell them in the locker room. Look in the fucking mirror.
And it's so much worse that he's wearing the creamsicle. How much cooler would that look if they won the game like they should have? You had every opportunity to. I don't have a silver lining. The only thing I could say is, does this kind of loss do something? Hamilton, I can't. I can't say this last, like, oh, you always try to find us. I kind of don't. I'm pretty candid. So I don't know. I'm not really trying to find a silver lining. And this thing is like, so the silver lining would be Mike's back, had a brilliant performance, looks healthy. Stud. That's okay. You got me there. I cannot say maybe this will light a fire. What fire do they need lit? They came in to this season, week 1, saying we are a Super Bowl bound team. That is our expectation. They should be getting up for the piddly games against lesser opponents and the bigger games. And these I cannot get behind, convince me, please, of the logic of like, maybe this will turn the heat up. Baker Mayfield does not seem to me a man who needs to be turned up.
Yeah, and not that they shouldn't need this, but that's the only thing you can hope, because it goes one of 2 ways from here, especially seeing the way that they received this loss. Mike Evans just beyond frustrated. I think Mike Evans was all of us watching that game. The way it unfolded at the end. And I think what you have to hope for is this brings you together. And Bowles called out, not by name, but called out a couple of his players, like not being fully in it. And you got to hope this brings you together, because it's either that or it tears you apart. And from the Bucs perspective, everything they want is still here in front of them if they do get it together here down the stretch. So you have to hope that's the case, because if they do get it together, then this loss ultimately means nothing and we'll kind of forget about it.
So the thought is that it was such an inexcusable, you should have had this, that they're like, it's the way that they lost that will sort of propel them to win these next 3, which they need to. Can you show me the side by side, Ham, and take me through what this means? I know the Bucs and the Panthers.
Yeah, let's do it. So if the Bucs beat the Panthers in both of these games that you see coming up, then they win the division. That's it. Everything else is a race. They win the division if they win those 2 games against the Panthers. As for Carolina, if they beat the Saints this weekend, they can win the division with a win against Tampa in week 16. They just need to win one of those last 2 games against Tampa. There's also like a really weird scenario here where if the Panthers, let's say the Panthers beat the Saints, stay with me here. They beat the Saints. They lose to the Bucs in week 16. That week 17 game for both teams, that Dolphins game for the Bucs and the Seahawks game for the Panthers, will mean absolutely nothing.
Oh, no
And then
way.
the division's decided in week 18. So it's like, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but like, do you treat that as a bye if you're the coaches? Like, do you sit guys in week 17 to get ready for week 18? That's going to be a weird, kind of unprecedented scenario if we get there, and I'm kind of secretly rooting for it.
You are, I was going to say, you want the chaos. Only you could break that down. I love it. So, yeah. So, okay. So now it's clear the path, what needs to happen. The entire season comes down to week 18 against the Bucs, as we're seeing, Carolina and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going at it. Wild stuff here unfolding. And now if you look at the odds like we are, Tampa's still favored to win the South at -135. So FanDuel Sportsbook is saying there's a better chance the Bucs sweep the Panthers than there is of Carolina winning one of those meetings. Very interesting. Okay, let's go to the Packers here. This is the game. I can't wait to talk to Josh Pate, of course. I can't wait to talk to Nick Ferguson about this one. The Packers, they are 2.5-point faves at Denver. I don't get it. I'm not an overlord, so do with that what you will. Josh Jacobs missed a second straight day of practice. I wonder if that has something to do with it. He's got a bit of a knee issue. Keep your eyes on that over with the Packers ahead of placing bets on FanDuel Sportsbook. Just for me to you, I would keep that in mind. So the Rams 5.5-point faves over the Lions. If you look at the slate, they can clinch a playoff spot with a win. They're the only team in the NFC with a clinching scenario this weekend. By the way, the other 6 playoff spots, you need to play out the final 3 weeks of the year. So Roger Goodell, toast to you this morning. Job well done. The Cowboys 6.5-point faves over the Vikings. If Dallas wins out over Minnesota, the Chargers, the Commanders, and the Giants, which is doable, then their chances to make the playoffs are 55%, and they're still alive here, which we love.